There is no such thing as a good cycling camera. And at this point, with the years I've been shooting video on the bike, you cannot convince me otherwise. Everything comes with their drawbacks. But for some reason, most of the time when I go out riding, I take this silly box of metal with me to shoot my video, the DJI OSMO Action 4. This is a video as to why I choose to shoot on this thing over things like my iPhone 15 Pro and the latest GoPro. Stabilization. This is a big one because no matter how bumpy the road is or how shaky the person's hand that is using this is, whether it's yours or someone else's, all you got to do is point and you're going to get the shot. The field of view is wide enough. The Rocksteady Plus stabilization is good enough that I'm just so confident. Now, is the stabilization worth comparing to a GoPro? No, it's a couple percentage points difference. It's not even worth having the conversation. But in recent years, the iPhone has made massive improvements in the stabilized footage, even with just the regular cameras, 0.5, 1 times, 2 times, 3 times, 4 times, 5 times, 6 times, 7 times. It's pretty good. And we've got action mode now. So while someone that is slightly more experienced can take pretty stable footage with just the regular cameras, as soon as you hand it to someone else though, that's when things start to fall apart. Even in action mode, which is very comparable to one of these things, how are you supposed to tell that to someone else? Hey, we're riding 50 Ks now. Could you just take your hand off the bar, film with this iPhone, switch it to action mode, and just point the camera at me? It just doesn't work that well. That's why one of these things is still easier, safer, and better. It's not a matter of if, it's a matter of when you drop your camera when riding a bike, or when someone else drops it for you and it smashes all over the road. What is easier and cheaper to replace? One of these action cameras with just an SD card inside of it that's probably salvageable, or your really expensive personal device with your entire life on it. Yeah, so get one of these replaced. DJI have a care refresh service, which is like $39 for a year or $59 for 2 years. I have it and I've used it in the past for my drone. It works really well. You lodge a ticket online and they send you a new product within days. Super quick, super good. So I know it's legit. GoPro have a similar sort of service called GoPro subscription. It's about $69 for the year. And I've also used that to replace a smashed GoPro. And there was more faffing about. The customer service team that I went through was overseas, so it took a little bit longer. And also the device replacement fee is a bit higher. It's like 99 or 150 Australian. And whilst the service works, it was definitely slower than getting a DJI product replaced. Also, you don't have a choice, but when you pay for that GoPro subscription, you get additional bells and whistles, like the GoPro cloud storage, which seems like a good thing, but honestly, it's just another thing to manage. Do you really need to put your GoPro footage in the cloud? I don't know about you, but I find it hard enough to just manage my iCloud storage. So do I want to pay for those extra bells and whistles? No, I like how DJI have kept it simple. It's just the care refresh. You get your device replaced for a relatively cheap fee, in my opinion, and fast. It's just exactly what I need and what I think most people need. But I see where GoPro's going, and for the beginners, yeah, I could be wrong there. It might be what most people need. Clip mount on this thing is an absolute game changer and one of the main reasons I use it over other action cameras, because I don't like carrying a camera when I'm cycling. It's honestly a compromise. Having this metal thing in your cargo bib pocket or in your back pocket weighing you down is annoying. So the fact that I can clip this thing on my bike and then unclip it really quickly to get the shot I need and securely put it back with that peace of mind is a huge deal. So yeah, it's more convenient. I don't need to talk about how this thing is more mountable than an iPhone. It's built for it. You could say, hey Chris, but you can put special cases on, mount it on a quad lock or some other creative places on a chest mount and stuff. But honestly, like, it's just not as convenient. It's gonna take more time and faffing about than just using one of these things. Speed and simplicity. Simplicity, it's one button. It starts filming really quick. Way quicker than the older GoPros. I think the new Hero 12 is probably comparable in startup and filming time, which is a big deal because you're moving pretty fast on a bike. So you want something that you press a button and it is recording virtually ASAP. The iPhone's pretty quick as well these days, especially with the action button. Just switches straight to the camera and you can do whatever you want really fast. When I talk about simplicity, I'm also talking about the little quirks that you have to get around when using these little action cam devices. Anyone that's had a GoPro knows of the glitches that you run into. The thing all of a sudden could just be overheating in your back pocket. Did you leave it recording? Is it just getting hot for no reason? Did it just glitch when you hit the record button and then you have to pull the battery out and put it back in mid-ride? Why did I just turn this thing on and it's got 0 battery? It's just an endless cycle of these little things that just keep popping up with GoPros. I've had multiple GoPros over the years, but with the action, I have had 0 little glitches or unexplained little things that have gone wrong. So when I talk about simplicity, I also mean all that stuff that you just encounter when you have a GoPro. It's a bit ranty, I know, but it's frustrating when you pay all this money for a camera and it just doesn't serve its intended purpose when you need it the most. I think this next one's a little bit boring, but it's a big deal to me. When you're shooting on an iPhone, you have to make a decision whether you're going to shoot in vertical or landscape. And if you choose to shoot landscape but you need the video for portrait, well then you have to crop in and sacrifice some quality. With the GoPro, it has an almost square sensor in like an 8:7 aspect ratio, and then you can choose later to crop for a landscape video or a portrait orientation video, which is a major selling point to someone like me because it means you only have to shoot something once and you can crop it later for landscape or portrait. The DJI OSMO doesn't have quite a square sensor. It's got a 4:3 sensor that it can shoot in 4K, and the quality is good enough that I can shoot everything in landscape. I can tell everyone that I want to shoot with this camera, hey, hold it like this and point it at me, and then I can crop it later down the track in portrait with no major quality losses. No action camera has great low light performance. They all just don't have big sensors, but this one has a bigger sensor than the GoPro and the iPhone. So the iPhone makes up its advantage in software developments. The GoPro is just okay, but it's never been good for low light. This thing just wins in hardware, and that's why it's better. You may have noticed the tone in this video is a little bit ranty. It's because I genuinely think there is no good cycling camera. It's a compromise. When you're shooting video, it's taking you out of the immersive experience that cycling is in. And whilst I get so chuffed and so excited to get like an awesome shot while I'm riding, like over the Cyclists bridge, when I watch that back later, I get the chills. I'm like, we did that. That is so cool. But at the end of the day, if someone else was shooting video of me, I'd take that every single time so I can be immersed in riding my bike. So I'm always gonna find fault in whatever I have to shoot video with while I'm riding. That's it for today, and I'll see you the next time I feel like making a video.